Okay, good afternoon all. We will start the lesson. Right. So last week, what we have done is we have discussed about the basic overview of the human resource management. Right. After that, we have done starting from the job design up to induction. Right. And today I will be doing this one. That is before doing lesson 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll be doing this one, right? Health and safety. After that, next week we will see again going back to lesson 4 and second review. Last week we have done lesson 3, right? Recruitment to induction. After that, that means next week I will be doing reward management for our countries. You can note down the topic health and safety and right. Here we will be mainly learning about 2 different concepts, right? First one is we are going to learn about employee health, and other one is about employee safety, right? So, what could be the difference between health and safety? Are there any differences? So, what could be the difference between health and safety? So here, when it comes to health, mainly we are going to focus about right? We will be focusing about mental health of a person as well as physical health. So health being within the organization, when they are working their daily activities, right? If there are anything that can impact to their mental health or physical health, right, which in return will impact to their performance, that's what we call health. Right? Basically, under health, we will be focusing about what are the factors impacting to their mental health as well as physical health. Right? When it comes to safety, we are mainly focusing on their physical aspects, right? So safety means we are going to protect their physical health. Health means focusing on factors which can impact to their mental and physical health. Safety means we are trying to protect employees from any kind of physical disasters, right? So in there, basically, we are going to focus on physical health. The main difference between those two. So it's health. We will be focusing on two. Physical health. That means how their physical health or mental health can be impacted, whether it is good or there are any kind of issues that they are currently facing. Likewise, we will be considering in terms of safety. It's mainly about protection of physical health. This can be difference between these two. Yeah, can you tell me why we need to consider about health and safety of vehicles? Here we will be learning about different examples for health and safety, that means health and safety issues, right? And also we have to discuss about how to manage employee health and safety. So then tell me, now I think most of you are currently working, right? So then why managers need to consider about your health and safety? If there are any health and safety issues, what sort of problems that can be faced by managers and employees? So mainly performance can be impacted, right? If they have any health related issues, or you can say their performance can be impacted, but there's when sometimes employees be demotivated, right? Especially in relation, we will be learning about what are the examples later. Especially if they are facing any mental health related issues, it can impact them to their motivation or their job satisfaction, which can even lead to regular absenteeism or turnover from the company. If those issues are there, so then to overcome, we have to focus on management of health and safety. And their performance can be impacted, but else. In fact, performance means any daily operations can be impacted. There will be many mistakes sometimes because people may not be able to properly concentrate if they have health issues. So it can lead to mistakes, even accidents, right? There can be errors. So it will impact to the smooth operations of the company. So those are some things that can happen if we are not going to manage health and safety properly. So to overcome those, we need to have proper management. Okay. So then you can note those points under the topic of here. This is what you have already discussed. Why health and safety is important at work. So some of the points are, one is to ensure smooth operations. Importance of health and safety. First one is to ensure smooth operations. Then the second one is to reduce employee performance errors or mistakes. Reduce employee performance errors or mistakes. Then to reduce absenteeism, turnover. Absenteeism and turnover. to ensure employee motivation and satisfaction. Ensure employee motivation and satisfaction. Final one, to protect company reputation. And then here we will be learning about these examples for health and safety issues under 3 categories, right? So we are going to learn these are we call health and safety problems. It comes under 3 categories, right? So the first one is we will be learning occupational accidents. Then we have occupational diseases. Cholesterol workplace. So under these 3 categories, we are going to learn about what are the health and safety problems that employees can face. Occupational accidents, occupational diseases, and the quality of work. And occupational accidents mean any kind of unexpected situations that happened within organization. We call occupational accidents, right? So while employees are working, there can be unexpected situations happen, right? That's what we call occupational accidents. Any examples that you know? What sort of accidents that employees can face while they are working? Yes. Picture. So even that means sometimes there can be wet floors in organizations, right? So there can be that kind of accidents can happen, right? What else? Based on your job, accidents can be different, right? In construction fields, normally what sort of accidents can be there? Yes. In construction fields, there can be maybe falls downs can happen, right? Or sometimes උඩ තියෙන මොනවා හරි ඔලුවට වැටෙන්න පුළුවන්, or else the employee can be falling down from some else. That is there, right? What else? Things can be there, falls can happen. Any other accidents? road accident. Yes. When a batch take a queue, lift the lift take a
This last week, Saturday, we take in August. I had in India, but Srilanka, we go to
There can be fire. Sometimes fire explosions can happen, right? What else? So will be depend on the type of the job that you are working in. I think most of you are working in office places, right? Especially if you are working in that means those who are in lower level will be facing more accidents than others because they are working in factories or maybe in the field. Okay. So then those are what occupational accidents are. Then we have occupational diseases being due to dust, right? Or maybe the chemicals that we are using in workplace. Sometimes we can be exposed to different diseases, which can even last for a long period of time, right? So any examples for diseases? Occupational diseases? Because of chemicals or dust, what sort of diseases can happen? Yes, breathing difficulties can happen. Sometimes hearing losses can be there, and mainly cancer. Cancer, skin diseases will be, that means that can be exposed, employees can be exposed to those. Again, depend on the job that they are engaging in, right? If they are exposed to dust or chemicals for a long period of time, that can happen, right? Sometimes the people who are working in factories, they can be injured because of chemicals, right? I can remember one time when I'm working as HR intern in one of the garment factories in Sri Lanka. One of the machine, not he cannot remember his position. Someone who is working in the factory, who is maintaining those machines and all those things, right? එයාගේ එකපාරක් chemicals හිහිලා තිබ්බ right? So that kind of accidents can happen. So basically, those who are working in factories or the sites can be exposed to different accidents and right? Then quality of work life. This is what I think mostly those who are working in office. That means we call the staff, right? Not the factory level employees. Are facing these quality of work life that issues, which we call low quality of work life. That can be faced by all level of employees, right? Not only the middle level or top level people, even lower level people, they are also facing this. So quality of work life means whether our expectations have been met within the company or not, right? Sometimes we are expecting different things from the management or the company, but if those things not get fulfilled, we can be dissatisfied. We can be demotivated. That's what we call quality of work life. Right? So whether you have a quality work life, whether you can balance your work family commitments, whether you are receiving fair salaries, fair benefits, right? All this comes under this part. Okay. So then here I will give you some examples for occupational accidents. So the definition is there in the slide. Occupational accidents mean any unexpected situation that a person can face, right? So you can write out examples for occupational accidents. This one is falling down from a height. So you can just write down falls. Falls, skills, fire explosion. Sometimes electric due to the electrical that means whatever tools that we are using based on that also accident can happen. For example, maybe electric shocks or maybe you can get cuts because of the tools or machines you are using. There can be cuts. Occupational diseases examples cancer, skin diseases, and hearing losses. Hearing losses. Those are some examples of occupational diseases. Quality of work life meeting is whether employee expectations have been met the company or not. Right? So then the examples for low quality of work is dissatisfaction, demotivation, and then maybe stress. Dissatisfaction, demotivation, and stress, anxiety. Bulan AC.
Very low.
So these are the main three categories, right, that we will be learning. Then we are going to discuss about to overcome these issues. What are the strategies that company can take? Right. So then here I will be showing you some images. Right. Then based on the image, you have guessed what could be the strategy that management can take. Right. Sometimes I don't know whether you can guess it from the image. That means what I will be showing is examples for strategies that the management can take to overcome these issues, right? Mainly accidents and diseases, right? So based on the picture, guess what could be the strategy? This one. What could be the strategy that it indicates management can take to overcome occupational accidents or diseases? Yes, mainly we call safety equipments, right? So personal protective equipments we can provide to employees, and also we can instruct them to wear those when they are working in dangerous activities, right? So what are the examples for personal protective equipment? You can see some of them here. Helmet, Glasses, yes. We call safety goggles, what else? Gloves. Like sometimes boots depend on the work that you are doing, right? So mainly we can use those things, right? So that is one solution we can take. We can provide employees PPE, or we call personal protective equipment, and we can instruct them and train them how to use them while they are working in different typical things or dangerous as well. But could be this one. Yes. What they are doing cleaning. So we can say maybe regular cleaning, regular maintenance, especially to overcome any issues related to dust. Or else we can consider if there are any wet floors, we have to clean them, and also we have to sometimes put the what do we call it? Oceans, those science, we can use science. This one, seriously.
That's the question.
Right, but this this is like a checklist, right? So we can say maybe conducting regular inspections, right? Whether the things are in place, right? So normally to overcome any kind of, let's say, for example, fire situations, right? So within the company, we have to have maybe fire extinguishers, right? Fire exits. So those kind of things should be in place, right? And also we have to make sure that the machines or the tools that people are using are in order. There are no any kind of dangerous things that can be happen because of those. And to measure those things, we can conduct inspections. Okay. So this is the third one. Then this one. Right, what you can see here.
Safety meeting.
Safety meetings, yes. Meeting, so we can say maybe training, so discussions. Yeah. Yes, we can give guidance them or instructions to them before they are going to do some kind of a task. Okay. So that is another one. We can have a meeting with them or discussions or maybe even training. This one.
Seating position.
Seating positions, that means this is actually comes under the term called ergonomics. That means we have the managers or the company owners, they have to make sure they are providing workplace for the tools or even their working area, workstation should be in line with the employee needs and to overcome any kind of health and safety issues which can be happen in future. Right. So, normally it says there is a way that we have to see this, right? And even when we are using laptops and computers, there are things that we have to refer to overcome any kind of issues that can happen to your backbone and your eyes, right? So those things, that means we have to arrange the workstation of the employee in a way that those things will be reduced. And also we have to communicate those to employees. It is employee responsibility to follow those things. Right? We are not following the right? We will be normally based on our comfortable positions, we will be seated, but this is the right thing. Right. Then this one, take out. That means normally the companies which are having factories, right, they have to have a separate medical center, and it is a must to have a nursing there. And there can be that means at least once a week or maybe sometimes that means depend on the company, maybe once a week or maybe once a month, doctor will be seeing employees, right, if there are any issues. So definitely there should be a medical center with the nurse, at least one nurse, especially the companies which are having factories, manufacturing. Right? So then having a medical center or maybe allowing employees to go for regular medical checkups. This one. Are you receiving this kind of facilities? Sometimes those who are working in hotel industries, they may have access to gym memberships and all those as well. Or some companies, they invite external Zumba instructors and have Zumba sessions. Right? Those things we can provide to ensure the physical health. Apart from these things, right, apart from these things, another one is we can conduct monthly awareness sessions, right? Then I'm modeling showing. But the other one is we can conduct awareness sessions. So in some organizations, sometimes they arrange awareness session by inviting some medical practitioners, right? There they will talk about normally general diseases, for example, diabetes, obesity, heart attacks, commonly diseases of the illness, they will give guidance to employees regarding what they can do and what are the symptoms. So those are some strategies we can take, which are given here, right? Pictures are given here. One means we can design the company structure in a way that it will help employees to overcome any kind of health and safety issues. Regular maintenance, job cleaning, inspection, job redesign we can do if we feel like employee is not that means the duties, responsibilities which have been allocated to the employee is not matched with that person's competency. We can even maybe decide to transfer that employee to another job, or even we can go for a job is really healthy. Then we can provide safety training education, ergonomics, medical exams, physical fitness program, and also we can provide them health education. These are what we can do to overcome any kind of occupational accidents and diseases. Mainly, these strategies relevant to the occupational accident and disease. Right? Then write down what are the strategies that management can take to overcome low quality of work. Strategies to overcome low quality of work. That means what we can do to satisfy them, motivate them, reduce their maybe stress level, Strategy to overcome low quality. But you can write down what could be the reasons that people say dissatisfaction, demotivation. Based on that, you can identify strategies. Like personal experience in India and another reasons for your dissatisfaction. Right. Tell me, what are the reasons for employee low quality of work? Or maybe dissatisfaction, demotivation, what could be the common reasons? No.
Appreciation for the hard
Appreciation, yes.
low salary compared to other competitors.
Salary, they are not receiving a fair salary. Yes, that's the fair salary, fair benefits, and other facilities, right? And even we will be learning later, there is another function called performance management. Even if the company is not evaluating employees' performance fairly, like, for example, if the supervisors are evaluating performance based on their personal connections or the biasness, then other people will get demotivated. Right? And if they are not, as you mentioned, appraising your efforts and not paying enough salary and other benefits, then obviously they will be demotivated. Right? And also sometimes if the company culture can impact, if the culture is toxic, not supportive, and if the other co-workers are not supportive, those things also can impact it. And sometimes personal issues also can be impacted to the way that employee think satisfaction. Right? They cannot balance properly work and personal life. Then what are the things managers can do?
Awarding ceremonies for the best performance.
That we can do to motivate people, then they will be motivated to improve their performance as well. We can conduct awarding ceremonies, but we should make sure those are conducted in a fair way. And if the salaries, some organizations are there, sometimes the salary scales may not be similar. Those who are in the same level may not be receiving same level salaries. So the very first thing we have to do is to revise those salary scales, right? And employees should have a proper career path within the organization. So basically, if we can solve those identified problems, we can help them to be satisfied and motivated, right? And we have to make sure company culture is supportive towards employees, especially for their future education, so maybe future advancement, right? And we have to provide appreciation for those who deserve it, right? Those are mainly by having fair practices within the company, we can ensure high quality of work. Right? So here some things have been mentioned. First one is allow employees to participate in decision making. Sometimes some organizations, they have a centralized decision making system where only top managers participate in decision making. But if we given chance to other employees also to provide their opinions, suggestions, they will feel like they are valued within the company, right? Or they are part of the company. So that value that they will feel will allow them to be satisfied and motivated. And we have to ensure job security, fair pay management, and there should be two-way communication. And we call another thing called open door policy, where we allow employees to meet with management to share their problems. That we have to have, and also fair performance evaluation systems. These are what we can do to enhance quality of work. So before implementing any of these, first we have to identify what are the problems employees are having. So for that, we can maybe observe them, or we can even share a questionnaire to them, or we can have one-to-one meetings with them. Right? That's what we have to do first. First, we have to identify the problem because employee dissatisfaction can occur because of different reasons. We take getting dissatisfied when the reason negative, other person can be because of another reason. So we have to identify what majority of people are feeling, and depend on the problem, we have to implement the strategy. So these are what we can do to overcome occupational accidents, diseases, and quality of work. Then in this lesson, the next part is something you have already learned, as I have seen Miss Mini last week lesson. Yes. Stress. Stress. Yes. Yes, right. Yeah. Everyone is up to some level. Everyone, even we are not doing a job, it can also create stress. Stress can be stress that due to some other reasons, stress can happen. So can you tell me what does it mean by stress? What is the meaning of stress? Stress. The simple definition is if your expectations and the reality is not matching with each other, you can get stress. Right? If there is a difference between what you are expecting versus the reality, that's what basically stress is. Because of that, the feelings, the negative feelings that we get, that's what we call stress. Right? So that's why sometimes it say in our life it is better not to have expectations in never do some things, right? Especially we should not expect things from others. Then what could be the reasons for stress for an employee? Same things we can take the previously discussed ones, right? Based because of mainly when it comes to employee, what could be the main key reasons that can create stress? Yes, yes.
Work pressure.
Work pressure. If there is unrealistic goals or the high workload, yes. Can under workload or the low workload create stress? What do you think? High workload obviously will create stress. Low workload, maybe because for some people it can create, right? Because sometimes there can be people who would like to work, and if they are not receiving the expected work from the company, they can be stressed. But yes. The key person that can create stress for an employee, can you guess? Who will be the, sometimes you may have experienced this. That is, who is the key person that can be the reason behind your stress level being within the company? Manager or basically your immediate supervisor. Depend on who is your supervisor, right? That means in some organizations, especially in relevant to the factories, these people, they are having a high stress level or they are having so many complaints because of the way the supervisor is treating them. Right? Some supervisors are there, they are toxic, or maybe their stress level can be reflected on the employee. That means employee may not have stress. Supervisor is the one who is having stress. It can impact it. How you have a stressed out employee stress level he or she can stress you out, right? So basically, your immediate supervisor is another risk, which can cause stress, right? Sometimes your co-workers, peers, through them also stress can occur, right? Any other friends? Friends, yes. Life partner. Life partner. Stress. Yes, self. When the one thing is your expectation. When your expectations are high, it can create stress, and maybe even your own personality, attitude types also can be impacted. Any other reasons? Okay, we will see what are the causes for stress. Before that, tell me this. Now we know because of stress, there can be negative consequences. Are there any positive consequences? Are there any positive sides to the stress? What do you think? Stress is a positive level.
Achieving goals.
Yes, sir. Achieving goals. Sometimes it will, because of the stress, you may be motivated to complete things. Right? Could be. Some people may not like, right? For me, I don't like to do things at the last moment because it stresses me out a lot. So because of that, I will not be doing things properly. Right? It might get at some point, not at the last moment. So some people can be sometimes it can impact people to complete things, right? That is one positive thing which comes to stress. Right? Other than that, mostly there are negative consequences. So what are the negative consequences that can happen because of stress? Other negative consequences of stress. Job dissatisfaction, demotivation, right? Same things. Or maybe they are family absenteeism in work, right? And they may not be able to concentrate sometimes, which can result in poor performance. Financial That could be a reason. Yeah, that means personal financial issues that can create as a cause of. Right. Yeah, we discussed about this model. Everyone see So here in this model, so for the exam, all the things relevant to the stress part is included in this model. You can refer to this. So in this side, it includes what are the reasons for stress for an employee. So they have divided it into 4 levels: individual level, organizational, and extra-organizational. Individual level means my employee, that means to the employee. There is some individual employee, what could be the causes that can be created because of the employee himself or her. So one thing is because of the job demands that they are getting, as we have discussed. If they are receiving any unrealistic demands from their bosses, it can create and work overload and monotony. What does it mean by monotony? Can also create stress to some people, not for all. That means if you are performing tasks which are repetitive, that means performing same thing and again and again, right? It can create stress to some people, right? Then the role conflict or ambiguity, that means if you are not clear about your job role, if your managers are not clearly telling you what are the things that you should do, what are duties, what is your duty, and what are the responsibilities you are having, then that confusion can create stress. And also, if you are not having proper job security, it can create stress. Okay. Then group level means when you are working with a group, or maybe when you are working as a department, those departmental or the group factors can create stress. Especially group dynamics. Group dynamics mean when you are working in a group, other members' personalities, their values, their norms, the way that they behave, or their stress level, those can impact it to you, right? And then the managerial behavior, as I have mentioned, your supervisor factors can impact. And also if there are any harassments, not only physical, verbal harassments can create stress to people. And from the company itself, stress can create through culture, structure, technology, and also if they are changing current work practices, it can create stress to some people. Because some employees are there, they don't like change, while some prefer change, right? Then finally, extra-organizational mean other external factors. That means could be your family, could be your social status, or the other people that you are interacting with can impact your stress level, right? So then these are the reasons. Then here we have cognitive appraisal, mean how you are going to interpret your stress, whether it will create a direct impact to you or indirect impact to you, right? Whether it has a primary, that is direct impact to the person, or it could be because of the indirect impact, as I have mentioned earlier. If your supervisor is stressed, sometimes it can be reflected on you, can be impacted to you indirectly. Okay. And here we have coping strategies. That means how you are going to manage stress. What are the strategies that you can use? First one is you can try to control. Control means you are trying to reduce your stress level, right? You can take actions to reduce your current stress level. Second one is escaping. That means you can try to avoid any factors that can create stress, right? You can try to escape from your stress. That means we go basically. Then we have symptom management. Can you tell me when a person is having high stress level, what are the symptoms that you can see? Physical symptoms. Any examples? Aggressive. What else? They can be too emotional. Could be sometimes anger or could be the sadness. What else? Poor memory, yes. Poor memory or maybe lack of concentrate. They can be not be able to concentrate on things. What else? The physical symptoms that you can see. Some are symptoms not because may not be because of the stress, right? What do you think about sleeping patterns? Can it change? Yes, because sometimes because of the stress, සමහරු ගොඩක් නිදා ගන්නවා, සමහරු නිින්ද යන්නේ නැහැ. Can be both, right? Your sleeping patterns can be impacted. Then eating disorders can be there. Right? Stress නිසා සමහරුන්ට කන්න බෑ, සමහරු ඕනට වඩා කනවා. එහෙමයි අර. කවුරුන්ටත් විදියට ඕනට වඩා කන එක අදාළ නැහැ. Because of stress can be impacted. What else? There can be can impact your eating patterns, sleeping patterns, and sometimes it can even impact to your other illnesses, maybe heart attacks. Those can be happen. There can be high blood pressure, right? So those are some examples for symptoms. So here symptoms management means before we are right, before we are trying to manage our stress level, we can try to manage those symptoms, right? By managing those symptoms, later we can try to reduce our stress level, right? That's what we call symptoms. Then here what they include is consequences of stress, right? We can create psychological consequences. These things we have already discussed. And behavioral, cognitive, and the physical in the sense they can lead to different other kind of illnesses, right? So this includes the things that we have already discussed. So you can refer to this model in relevant to the entire stress management part. Right, then can you write down what are the strategies that employee can take to manage stress by their own, and what are the strategies management can take to manage employee stress? Employee. To manage stress, you can just point out. Right, by arrangements, what they can do.
Psychological counseling sessions.
Oh, yes, we can provide them counseling sessions, or even for the supervisors also, they can have maybe face-to-face discussions. Or we can even have some professional. But encourage. Open community. We can have open communication. And also, if the stress has been caused because of workload, then we have to again revise, right? We have to maybe revise the workload, or maybe we have to revise the goals that we set for them, or the targets we set for them. One test. Remote work options. Remote work options. We have to depend on the job. It can be some. If there is any unrealistic goals, we have to consider those, right? Any other? We can maybe even have different kind of events, right? Or maybe annual trips. We can conduct those things to help employees to have a relaxation mind, or even we can do some kind of relaxation events, right? Events, annual trips. Then by employee, that means by yourself, what you can do. Work and separate, yes. Balance means balance needs and enough personal. Yes. The simple things that you can do in daily life. Time management. Yes. Have to overcome procrastinations. Right? If you can refer to maybe scheduling, proper planning, that can ease your work. What else? Regular short breaks. Regular short breaks, yes. Sometimes you have that means personally, you can arrange trips, right? When you have a holiday, you can go for some trips or maybe even hotel stays, right? And also you can do your hobbies, right, to relax your mind. If you can sing or if you can play instruments, you can do these those things, maybe dancing, painting, right? Or if you would like to read books, that you can do. And even another good way is to relax is to listening to music, but depend on what sort of music that you are listening, right? And sometimes another better way is you can talk with your close people, that means maybe your family, maybe your some close friends. If you have any issues, you can talk to them, right? හැබැයි කිව්වට පස්සේ තව ස්ට්‍රෙස් එක ඩබල් වෙන්නේ නැති කෙනෙක් එක්ක කියන්න. Otherwise, sometimes අපි සමහර අයත් එක්ක කතා කරාට පස්සේ තියෙන ස්ට්‍රෙස් එක වැඩි. So you have to select the best people to be talked with. Maybe your parents, or maybe there can be some closer friends, right? Or maybe other people. Right. Then we will see what are the things given in slide after a minute. Are there any questions up to this point? Yeah. Right, then we have
Oh, my God.
This one is ஒரு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணு சிவா பண்ணி ஏசி உள்ள பாஸ் சரியாக டோன் எடுத்து விட்டாங்க
These are our students discuss how to manage stress individually and also as a manager what they can do, right? So we have discussed individually we can go for time management techniques. Or even we can enhance our physical exercise, relaxation training, and also we can get support from the network that we have, that is the closest people. And from the company itself, they can do these things. Which there are some things that we have also discussed, right? Then that's what you include in this slide. Mainly, you have to consider about that three health and safety issues, right? Three categories. And also, one thing which comes under mental health aspect is stress, which is a common problem that is faced by all employees. Okay. Then are there any questions from the lesson? Right. Then we are going to do one past paper question in relevant to this lesson, right? If you want, you can do it individually or even as a group, right? I will share it to the those who are in online also. I will share the screen. So first try to answer the questions based on the things that we have done today. And after that, I will discuss to gain marks. What are the things you have to write down, right? So we'll do that. There are three sub-questions based on today's lesson. If you want, you can discuss with your friends and write down. After that, I will discuss. You can download this from LMS as well if you cannot see properly. It's there under the under today's lesson material. There is a document called past paper question.
Sorry.
This question.
தேவையை நம்மளுடைய இடம் குறையுது நம்மளுடைய இடம் குறையும் அதனாலதான் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் வந்து அது அதை வந்து ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் பண்ணா சொல்லுவாங்க அதை சொல்லுவாங்க ட்ரைனிங் பெரிய வேலையை கொடுத்துருக்காங்க அது போனதான்
Discuss the answers. Here, first one it's asking identify five occupational accidents that can be faced by an employee, and the allocated marks is 5 marks. So if it says to identify, point out, list down, then you just have to write it in point form. Right? Just mention 5 accidents that we have already discussed. Right? So 5 examples. Right? So if you have written those 5, you can get 5 marks. Right? No need to explain. So don't, that is, I have seen in some of the answer scripts, even though it says to identify or point out, sometimes students, they are explaining. So which means it will impact to your time, because even though how much you have explained, only 5 marks should be given. So if you have written correctly examples, 10 marks, you can get marks. And 5 strategies to improve quality of life. You can mention about having practices, right? And maybe conducting, giving fair salaries, fair performance evaluation systems, right? Those things you can mention. We have discussed. Again, here you have to mention 5, but you have to explain them briefly. Right? So let's say you have only mentioned 5 strategies and you haven't explained, still you will get 5 marks for those points. If you explain them briefly, you can get total 10 marks. Right? So that's how marks to be allocated. So you can even give examples. For example, maybe you can say maintaining or providing fair salaries to employees. Then you can explain that a bit and give examples. Then for the third one, what do you think? How you can explain this? There is a statement given, and it is asking to explain the statement with examples. What you can use, that means from the slides to explain this statement. How we are going to explain this? Here you can even refer to that model that we have learned, right? You have to highlight first, this is the definition of job stress, right? You can say simply job stress means when you are not meeting with that, means when your expectations and reality is different, you can identify that as job stress, right? Then you can explain about here it says the many reasons for job stress, you can mention those, right? Which have been given in the model as well. So what are because of these reasons, a person can face job stress, right? And then you can mention about the consequences of job stress. Right? So likewise, if you explain a few points from that model, you can get the 10 marks, but you have to include examples as well. Right? Or let's say without using any of the content from the slide, if you just explain this statement with your own thoughts, own knowledge, still, if those are applicable, marks will be given. Right? Slide again, if the answer is correct or relatable, marks will be given. Right? So that's how marks will be allocated. So in your end exam paper, there will be 5 questions, right? 5 questions which you have to select 4 out of 10, right? In some of the papers, I have given a compulsory case study. I will let you know whether you will be having a case study or not. If not, what you have to do is you have to select any 4 questions out of 5. Right? So there will be questions like this, which is for each 25 marks will be allocated. Okay, then That's that. And other thing is, I think I told you one of your component of continuous assessment is you have to do activities, in-class activities. Actually, I will be uploading those to LNS. So there is one activity relevant to last week's session and one activity relevant to this one. So I think this one's activity I have already uploaded to the LNS. In relevant to the recruitment induction, that one also I will upload. Before that, I think you don't have groups, right?
This
One පුළුවන්ද මේ ඔයගලගේ list එක කොහොමයි for the overseas student I will prepare a separate group for the options online. So what do you have any idea regarding the මට ඔයාලගේ වෙන වෙනම හරි ඒ කියන්නේ මේ weekend එකේ coordinator මට ඒවන්න ඔයාලගේ activities and from the exemption and also from weekday කට්ටියක මට list එකේ එවන්න then I will create the groups. Management because you have to start those activities. Then are there any questions that you ask? I will export today. We'll give the